So I'm a big believer in the classical definition of learning, a change of behavior based upon experience. We think generally in terms of training as an event, but training is like a stop sign. Everyone's in the car, you get trained and you stop. What happens is nothing really changes until you adapt, till you apply this thing that you've learned, and then you are the recipient of the feedback of having to apply that, and then you get the experience. You don't really learn anything until you've had an experience. So you can be trained. There are some like minor experiences, is what I call them, within the training itself. But the real learning occurs when you apply it and where the experience resides. So in real estate, the mantra is location, location, location. In training, the mantra has to be experience, experience, experience. The flyer had come in from the grocery store. You know how you get the flyers in the mail and like apples are on sale, or like, 2 cents a pound or something ridiculous like that. And the commercials on TV, they're talking about apples, and I'm bombarded with this ideal about apples. So I say to myself, I'm going to bake an apple pie for the first time. I've never baked anything in my life. Now, how does this relate to lifelong learning? At some point, you get bombarded with thoughts that are beyond anything that you've experienced, and your mind is now challenged to go do something about that. Our jobs require us to synthesize things from the environment to make decisions or to go do something different or to take a course of action. Your ability to respond to this stimulus is based upon the fact that you've always been receptive to learning and doing, right? So learning from an operand or an operant point of view, all it suggests is that you're willing to accept stimulus and then process that stimulus. With respect to creativity and innovation, you have to just be intentional about it, right? Go read this thing, go study this thing, go watch this person, right? Go experience this thing for the purpose of seeing if I can apply it later on. That's why lifelong learning is important. Without it, I would have never made that apple pie. It was good too. I read a book not too long ago by General Stanley McChrystal, who was responsible for standing up the coalition forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. And his book is called Team of Teams. Again, it's a concept that I've been familiar with, had been involved in, but the way he and his team of writers articulated what it meant to be a team of teams really re-engaged me in my own processes about what I wanted to do about it in that space. So sometimes what you learn is really what is re-triggered in you. So if we go back to some of our learning theories and all of those great dudes in the past, and we think about scaffolding in our minds, how our mind is set up to receive information and then do something with it. There are instances where we build scaffolds that are incomplete, and you get some stimulus and that completes the scaffold in your mind. It's where that aha moment comes from, right? When you go, aha, I got it. So you don't know what that is until you've done a lot more stimulation. Anyway, I'm reading this book. I'm reading about teams of teams. I'm reading what he's saying about agility, complexity, resilience, and chain resilience. And what I learned was how to apply in a more deeper way my thoughts and concepts around change and building change resilience. It's something I've always thought about. I've studied it. I've got the Master Facilitation Certification in William Bridges Transition Management. And it, that just kind of sits there stagnant, right? You know what you know. And then you get this other piece of information and just triggers something deeper in you. And now you're able to articulate it in a whole new and profound way.